record, there was a hauntingness about Elvis's voice that still, to this day, has never left me on Heartbreak Hotel.
The charisma, he had the charisma. He had Jim Morrison. He was Jim Morrison of his day. You know, he had that kind of charisma. He was just a sex bomb, a sexy man who had a great voice. Didn't that man have a great voice? I mean, he could sing, you know, and the rhythmic arrangements were profound. That little band behind him, you know, without that trio behind Elvis Presley playing the way they played, oh, God, that music was just absolutely phenomenal. The arrangements were great. The tightness of that band, that walking bass and the ting-ting-a-ting-ting-a-ting-ting-a-ting-ting-a-ting-ting-ting-ting. They were just right on top of it, and so Elvis had all the charisma.
When we started, it was rhythm and blues. Elvis changed that, became sort of rockabilly.
And he was great, in good mood, had a great time, and then maybe something bothered his mind, and instead of drinking, he'd take a pill.
Sometimes even Elvis's fans were witness to his anger, at concerts, when talking to them between songs.
I don't pay attention to rumors. I don't pay attention to movie magazines. I don't read them because they're all junk. When I got sick here in the hotel, I got sick here that one night. I had 102 temperature. They wouldn't let me perform. From 3 different sources I heard I was strung out on heroin. Oh, by God, I'll tell you something, friend. I have never been strung out in my life, except on music. But all across this town, strung out. So I told him earlier, and don't you get offended, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to somebody else. If I find or hear the individual that has said that about me, I'm going to break your goddamn neck, you son of a bitch. That is dangerous. That is damaging to myself, to my little daughter, to my father, to my friends, my doctor, to everybody, my relationship with you, my relationship with up here on the stage. It is dangerous. I will pull your goddamn tongue out by the roots.
And I remember when we left and said goodbye, we walked out of the dressing room, closed the door behind us, and I looked at Sandy and she looked at me and I said, you know what, that'll be the last time we're going to see Elvis alive. And she said, what do you mean? And I didn't say anything else, and we walked back to our hotel. We got a cab, we went back to our hotel, and we had no...
It was all a game. Let's pretend Elvis isn't dying, you know. We didn't really talk about how serious it was, but it was.
As rumors of his drug use became more widespread, Elvis didn't help his own cause with rambling interviews like this one from 1973.
How do you pace yourself?
Sir?
How do you pace yourself?
You mean physically, vocally, or whatever?
So you are up when you need to be up?
I just, I exercise every day. I vocalize every day. I practice if I'm working or not. You know. So I just try to stay in shape all the time. Vocally and mentally. And
You know what I think it might be? No one ever says no to them. You know? You say no to me, we'll say no to you. Everybody gets said no to. No, 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 no. Not to Jim Morrison. You didn't say no to Jim Morrison. He's the lead singer. He's the star, you know. He wants to do this, he wants to do that. You kind of go along with him, you know. He wants to drink. How do you stop him from drinking? I think the same thing happened to Elvis. No one said, get the bottle out of your hand. Knocked it right out of his hand. No pills, bam. As a matter of fact, boom. Now go to sleep and sit down there. You couldn't do that to Elvis Presley. You'd do that to anybody else. You know, you do that to the drummer in the band or the guitar player, but you don't do that to the lead singer. Elvis was the lead singer and the biggest thing until the Beatles. So how do you stop him?
We all talked to him one time or another.